What's up guys, my name is Jack, you're watching JBTCG, and today we're going to talk about 5 things that I've learned along my way in Pokemon investing that I wish I knew when I started. Now because I want this video to be as beginner friendly as possible when it comes to Pokemon investing, let's first explain why Pokemon investing works in the first place. So Pokemon releases around 5 to 6 sets per year, and they all come in these booster boxes along with a bunch of other ancillary products. And before they can end up in yours or my hands, they have to go through their distribution system, similar to the cat distribution system, but it's not free. So local game stores, or LGSs for short, big box stores like Target or Walmart, and then certain online stores, take Poke&E for example, all have access to these distributors. They have contracts with them and negotiations, and they first buy these products for way cheaper than generally you or I will ever get. That's around $80 to $90 per booster box, and obviously some sets come out and do really poorly, like Scarlet and Violet Base, where the box price is pretty much right at distributor pricing. But I'd say that's more the exception rather than the rule. Most Scarlet and Violet sets are right around like $100 to $110, with some of the more expensive ones being up at like $120, $130. And because this is a competitive card game, they have to continually rotate sets in and out. And from when a set is released, it's generally 2 years-ish, heavy on the ish, that it stays in rotation. And in this rotation period is generally when restocks and reprints occur. Now obviously small random restocks can occur like way down the line. I think some big distributor found out that it had like XY products like a month or two ago and randomly like flushed some of them out to local game stores and online stores. But that's kind of separate from restocks and reprints. Anyways, in this 2-year block, these sets can get restocked and reprinted, and higher demand sets, take Crown Zenith for example, will get reprinted way more than others. Like in the winter of last year, we saw that massive restock of Crown Zenith ETBs, and just now we're getting a new collection box with the Sea and Sky boxes at Sam's Club. And obviously the Pokemon Company does this to meet demand. The Pokemon Company wants this game to be somewhat affordable so that people can play it without having to shell out their entire paychecks to build a deck. Now on the flip side, they also just want to make a lot of money. That is kind of their whole thing. They are a company. So sets that are high in demand that people really love, they're going to reprint them because they know they can make a ton of money doing so. But the thing is, after a set kind of goes out of rotation, the Pokemon Company kind of leaves it in the past. They move on to future things, future sets. They can't just keep printing all of the sets from the past. One, because it would ruin the collectability and the perceived value and rarity that these sets and cards have. But it would also impede the Pokemon Company in growing the hobby and growing the card game in the future because they'd be so focused on the past. So after a certain point in time, they have to leave a set in the past and stop printing it. Now obviously they don't actually have to, but it makes sense for them to, and that's what they do. And so when supply stops being introduced to the market and there's still demand for a set, people want to open it, people want to chase some high tier rarity of card like the Alt Arts from the Sword and Shield era, people chasing the Moonbreon and the Rayquaza VMAX, supply just dwindles over time. And also because the Pokemon Company is moving forward and growing the TCG, new people are coming in, and those people want the iconic things from the past. That's why a base set booster box right now is worth like $16,000. It's because people that opened those packs when they were kids, they didn't have money to buy these booster boxes or collect these booster boxes. They were 6 or 7 years old. But now they have big boy jobs, or they're a streamer, which maybe big boy job? And because supply of these boxes is much lower 25 years later, and there's still demand for them, they're valued way higher than they used to be. And that's the general concept for Pokemon investing. It's pretty simple, supply and demand over time. So what have I learned investing in Pokemon that beginner Pokemon investing me didn't know or was blissfully unaware of? Well, the first thing, and I think the most important thing, is separating fun and Pokemon products that I'm buying to open or I want for my personal collection and things I'm investing in. Because obviously getting into Pokemon investing as someone who doesn't actually like Pokemon doesn't really work too well unless you're Rudy from Alpha Investments, but he's a whole other animal. I assume if you're watching me, you like Pokemon and that's why you're thinking about investing in it, or you already are investing in it. But I know this is something that a lot of people struggle with, and it's opening the things that they had bought previously to invest in, and when you open a Pokemon product, you pretty much always devalue it. Like when you think about it, it kind of is just gambling, but there is a fun tax associated with opening Pokemon cards. That's what Danny Phantom always talks about in his videos. And sometimes it's worth it for the experience to open up a product that you really like and you really like the cards inside. And yeah, you may lose a couple bucks, but it was worth it because you enjoyed your time and you got some cards out of it. But if you don't have the self-control to hold your Pokemon investments for years to come and not open them, you're gonna have a really tough time. But now before we continue, we're gonna do the opposite of what I just said. We're gonna open this 151 poster collection because I've never opened one, and I'm looking to fill out my Pokemon 151 Master Set, and I'm missing the promo cards from this. Now I do want to preface, I did buy this with the explicit purpose of opening it in this video. I have a case of these sitting on my shelf that I bought purely for investment purposes, and those ones I'm not gonna touch. So without further ado, let's see what we can get. All right, hopefully my audio isn't too scuffed when I open this, but this is a product that I never got on release. Something I think is cool. The poster is really cool inside. I've seen other people open it up, obviously, but there we go. All right, so we get these 3 lovely promo cards here. 2 of these have a swirl on it. I believe it's the Charmander and the Bulbasaur. I don't know how well you can see it, and those are 3 cards that I needed to complete my master set. I just never picked them up for whatever reason. And then here is the poster. It's pretty cool. It has like 2 sides. One has all of the Pokemon like this, and the other is the like 151 like illustrations from the set. Hopefully you can see that. I'm not gonna fully open it up. I'll do that later. But we get 3 packs. Pretty neat. Throw all the plastic. I do feel like I'm kind of murdering the environment every time I open up Pokemon cards or like Pokemon collection boxes, because there's like no reason for them to have the amount of plastic that they do. But hey, whatever. All right, Voltorb, Krabby, Sandshrew, Sealed, Fearow, Onix, Dragonair, Primeape Reverse, and Golbat Reverse. Can we get a secret rare? No. Beedrill. And the Metal Energy Hollow with no Galaxy Swirls. Alrighty, you can have the code card if you want. I don't really care. But yeah, so this cost me like $16.50 after taxes and shipping and whatever. So not honestly terrible. Not awesome, obviously, but 3 packs comes out to like $5.50 a pack, and then with that, the promo cards are not counted. Grabber, Omastar Reverse, Jigglypuff Reverse, and a Flareon Hollow. Darkness Energy non-hollow. Here's the code. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, we're not gonna make money off this. That's just not gonna happen. So that's why, like, I really like separating my fun in Pokemon and my investment in Pokemon, because otherwise you will just open it all, especially if you really enjoy Pokemon, and you'll lose money. And that's kind of not what we're trying to do here. And our other reverse is Machoke, regular hollow, Raichu. So 0 for 3 on our packs. Ooh, here's the code. So as you can see, we're not making money here. And honestly, this kind of proves my point about separating your Pokemon investments and your Pokemon fun, I guess, and your collection and your hobby. Because the odds are stacked against you, you're not meant to make money opening Pokemon cards, especially opening thousands and thousands and thousands of packs. Over time, you're just gonna lose money. The pull rates and the pricing of the singles is not in your favor to make money opening cards long term, unless it's like pre-release, but even then, you're probably just better off selling the booster boxes themselves. Also, I'd like to announce that when we hit 1,000 subs, I'm going to be giving away this 151 booster bundle and maybe a couple other things, but this one for sure will definitely be going out to one of you guys that is subscribed. So consider dropping a sub. If you subscribe and comment on this video, you'll be entered, and then when we hit 1,000, I'll kind of go back to this and check who the winner was and announce that. So just put it out there. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to, but could potentially work out for you. Anyways, enough shilling myself. Next thing is, don't follow the hype train. This one is kind of a difficult thing to do because we really, like, as humans, we just get kind of caught up in hype and like buzz around something. For whatever reason, that's just how we're wired. You ideally want to get in before the hype train. That way you can ride the hype train up. And sometimes, like, if you catch, like, say, a big YouTuber like PokeRev makes a video talking about the Umbreon V and how it's his favorite card and how he thinks it's undervalued. Like, I think, well, something like that happened and it shot up like 50% in a week. Say you saw that video like right on release and you figured that that was going to happen, that the card price was going to spike really quickly. You could have bought a couple of cards, made a quick buck, and sure, that could work. But when you're looking at investing long term, following these hype trains and stuff generally isn't the move. This kind of plays into the point of FOMO, or the fear of missing out. It's just something that you really want to avoid, and it's honestly one of the hardest things about Pokemon investing. Actually buying good products and things like that not very hard to do, but avoiding hype trains and things like that, very difficult at times. So if I go back to the beginner me, I'd just shake myself and be like, don't do that. Why are you following all the hype trains? Why are you buying in at record highs? Stop doing that. But honestly, it's a part of the learning process, and you got to make some mistakes along the way. And I think making those mistakes and losing some money on those things along the way has honestly helped me in Pokemon investing to not make those same mistakes again and not actually lose a ton of money in those mistakes. My third thing kind of has two parts, and one of them is storage and one of them is selling. For storage, I would have kind of tried to make a better plan for how I was going to store my products, because when you're first investing in Pokemon, you're buying a few things, you don't really need like storage racks or anything like that for your boxes, because you just don't have that many. But making a plan for the future and figuring out, okay, if I do go heavy into Pokemon investing, I do buy a bunch of things, how am I going to store them? Where am I going to store them? And how long am I going to have to store these things for? Because if you move a lot for work or for whatever reason, having hundreds and hundreds of ETBs or hundreds and hundreds of booster boxes that you're gonna have to lug around from place to place just might not be feasible. So I'd say building a plan for how you're gonna store these products, or I guess talking to myself how I was gonna store my ETBs and my booster boxes, it's something that's super helpful to do, and it's something you definitely should keep in mind if you're starting Pokemon investing. Now for selling, this is another thing where it's like you're planning for the future. Eventually you're gonna have to sell these products. As much as you may like collecting them or whatever, there will come a day where you will likely sell them, or maybe you win the lottery and you never have to sell anything, but for most of us, we're gonna have to sell these Pokemon products to realize our gains. And you can't do that without a platform to sell them on or good references for yourself. Good websites that a lot of people use are like eBay or Facebook Marketplace, or sometimes people even build their own websites and stores. And all this comes with work and time. You can't build relationships and build trust in the community over a week or 2 weeks. You need to become someone that people can trust for real products with great shipping habits, where you aren't just tossing an ETB in a box and sending it through UPS. You need to wrap it in paper, put bubble wrap in the box as well, or packing peanuts or whatever. You need to learn how to ship these things properly and build up a great reputation. This was something I hadn't really put too much thought in when I had first started investing in Pokemon products, because I was like, ooh, I just love buying these. They're so cool, and this is a great price, and it's valued higher than what I paid for it. This is awesome. But I wasn't really thinking about how am I actually gonna sell these things to people. So if I could go back in time to my beginner self, it would be figure out your storage system and build up reputation on a website, which I chose eBay for, that you can sell these products in on the long term. All right, number 4, this is gonna be reprints and reprint panic. I, at the beginning, would buy products, and then if they got reprinted, I'd be like, oh my God, no, I lost so much money. These things are valued so much less than they were like 3 weeks ago or whatever. Like we'll take Japanese 151 booster boxes, for example. They were up at like $200 something, and reprint news came in, and obviously MSRP for Japanese booster boxes is like $40. So when they got reprinted and pushed through distributors for like $30 something a box, prices tanked like immediately. And I wasn't too panicked about Japanese 151, and this is because I knew that I could just dollar cost average myself down. And definitely seeing those boxes on my shelf that I paid like $200, $210 for, I just look at them and just like, God, like that's brutal. I could get 5 boxes right now for the price that it cost me to get that one. But I was able to dollar cost average myself down, and right now my average cost per box is like $84, $85 per. And the Japanese 151 booster boxes are now valued at like $100 to $102 a box. So although there's a couple boxes that I paid like $200 for, there's way more of them that I paid $50 to $60 for. And because of that, I'm in a great spot with Japanese 151, and it looks like I'm gonna make a decent amount of money on this set. I tell myself to look more at reprints as an opportunity and not as an event that made me lose a bunch of money or something like that. Reprints really are just a great opportunity to buy in and increase your positions on a product or a set in general and get some great deals. Finally, my last piece of advice to beginner me in Pokemon investing would be pick your winners. Some sets are gonna do better than others. That's just how it works. Some cards are more beautiful and more unique and more sought after. And then the sets that have the packs that they're inside of are also worth more. You can take a look across Scarlet and Violet sets and pick winners and pick losers. Actually, losers isn't the word I'd say, but pick winners and sets that maybe you just won't buy that many boxes of because you don't see them making a bunch of gains. Like if I were a betting man, I'd put my money on Twilight Masquerade doing better than Paradox Rift and better than Scarlet and Violet base. And you won't be right 100% of the time. I mean, that's just life. You're not going to be perfect. But being someone that likes Pokemon and likes Pokemon cards, you know what you're looking for. You know what cards are awesome. You know what cards are sought after, sets that are sought after. And I think that's one of the advantages of liking Pokemon and also investing in it is you know what the general public is going to like, because it's what you like. And obviously we all have our favorite Pokemon that may be completely different from other people. Like some people's favorite might be Drowsy. I doubt it, but I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there. But you get what I'm saying. Picking winners is something I wish I could go back in time and just tell myself, hey, pick some sets that you think are going to do the best, and the other ones, maybe buy a booster box, maybe buy an ETB for just collection reasons, but invest in the sets that you really believe are going to do well long term. Anyways, those are my 5 things that I would go back in time and tell myself as to how to improve my Pokemon investing journey, I guess you could call it. Let me know if you agree with what I said, or if you completely disagree, or have some things that you think would be more helpful to help beginners with. But that's all I got for today. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay safe out there.